In the previous episode, you and I talked about acapella music, its origins, how unique it is in comparison with popular music, and which techniques acapella singers must master, turning them into powerhouse singers. Now it's time to talk about the 2D music project that is betting a whole lot in acapella music, and is yet to have a rival project stealing away its thunder. I'm talking about aoppella. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is Unveiling aoppella, the new wave of J-pop acapella by male Seiyuu. Following up on the previous episode all about what is acapella music and which are the positions within an acapella group, this time around you and I will talk about aoppella. At the moment of recording this episode, it is the only 2D acapella music project out there. Yes, believe it or not, since its launch in 2021 and seeing how well received it has been by fans of Seiyuu and even people outside of this fandom, there hasn't been any other 2D music project producer to create a rival project to this one. This is rare. Usually when a unique 2D music project debuts and is well received, another project in the same vein appears. Just look at how Hypnosis Mic was followed by Paradox Live or even Urapella and any other 2D music project featuring pop idols out there. So aoppella is currently in a league of its own, and as such, the franchise can do whatever it wants, cast whoever they want, and have money to pay for, and partner with artists and composers they believe fit the project. And why is that? Because there is no competition right now. If for some reason you are listening to this episode a couple of years after it was released, and there is already a new acapella project to rival aoppella, do understand that this episode was recorded in 2023. Now that this intro is already done, let's go back to the basics and dive into what is aoppella, its selling point, the cast, and talk a bit about the quality of the music by each group. This episode is based on a long written feature on the Hand That Feeds HQ's website. You can find a link to it in the description. However, this episode goes way beyond what is in that feature, given how it already includes the new group in the franchise, Vedlip. Its origins. Perabo. Despite what many people may think, aoppella is not the first time acapella music is put on the spotlight in the 2D music industry. In 2011, Perabo, Acapella Love, Drama CD was released. It followed the story of 5 high school students that were part of the acapella group. While facing their struggles, showing their quirky selves, and dealing with a teacher that put them all in the acapella group with the challenge of performing in front of their entire school in under 1 month, the characters built their bonds and grew. The story was relatively simple, and you could even say that it was not that innovative as school-setting drama CD stories go. But there was something in there that no other drama CD had. The acapella concept. Up until then, acapella didn't have any expression or mention in the 2D industry, and much less in drama CDs, and to feature a song in acapella was the very first time. The acapella group featured vocals by Ryohei Kimura, Hosoya Yoshimasa, Tomoaki Maino, Tetsuya Kakihara, and Ken. Now, besides Hosoya Yoshimasa, doesn't this lineup sound familiar to you? Kimura, Maino, Kakihara, and Ken all made it to aoppella 10 years after being part of the cast of Perabo and bringing insanely improved vocals to the spotlight. Perabo didn't end up being popular, and the drama CD series by Frontier Works was soon canned. The evolution, aoppella. It took 10 years for acapella music to return to the spotlight in the 2D industry. K-Lab picked up the project, brought part of its original cast back, brought new faces and voices to it, and revamped the concept, this time around putting hand in hand the school drama with riveting and highly technical a cappella performances. Aoppella is a mixed media project built on the themes of youth and a cappella, and it originally launched with two groups, Lil Happy and Fame. Lil Happy and Fame have completely different approaches to a cappella music, counting with unique lineups to suit those. And that's exactly at this point that you get to see and hear just how technical and talented all these Seiyuu are when singing without any backup, without any distractions in the background, just their raw, beautiful voices in full display. Lil Happy is the upbeat, crystal clear and incredibly delicate a cappella group consisting mainly of tenors and baritones. Their music gives off a youthful vibe that fits really well with the whole concept of this project. Listeners will find on vocals Ryota Osaka, Ryohei Kimura, Tetsuya Kakihara, Ken and Tomoaki Maino. The only big change in this group from its original members was Hosoyo Yoshimasa, who was replaced by Ryota Osaka due to his vocal cords' condition that doesn't allow him to sing like he used to. Fame, on the other hand, is the franchise's R&B a cappella group. They do have instances in which they channel barbershop a cappella, EDM, or even add a little bit of gospel to their performances, which makes them, at least for me, the most exciting group in this project. Their lineup is packed with highly technical singers covering all vocal ranges for male voices, which is to say tenor, baritone and bass, which leads to memorable performances with a lot of power, a rich bass sound, and a lot of allure and a mature vibe on top. The group has Toyonaga Toshiyuki, Yuki Ono, Wataru Hirata, Takuya Sato, Daiki Hamano, and Shugo Nakamura. This group has a perfect balance that makes them consistent across several music genres. So all Seiyuu, part of this music project, immediately showed that they do not need background music to sound good. They are the music. So after releasing 4 CDs, collaborating with the legendary a cappella group The Gospelers, and covering several pop and rock hit songs, the Aoppella franchise announced the addition of a new group. Vedlip was announced in August 2022, and what followed was the announcement of one of the most astounding and star-studded lineups you could get for an a cappella group. Vedlip features vocals by Yuma Uchida, Natsuki Hanae, Kensho Ono, Taku Yashiro, Takuya Masumoto, and Shunsuke Takeuchi. They have a unique lineup that features 1 top and 2 lead vocals, making it a triple threat of soloists in Yuma Uchida, Natsuki Hanae, and Kensho Ono. There is a lot of hype for their debut song and what the group can achieve while attracting attention to the Aoppella franchise. The soloists dictate the group's level of technicality. First off, the soloists for each group easily tell the level of technicality you can expect from each. Lil Happy's soloist is Ryota Osaka, Fame's soloist is Toshiyuki Toyonaga, and Vedlip's soloists are Yuma Uchida and Natsuki Hanae. You have a ridiculous high level of technicality from Toshiyuki Toyonaga, which reflects in Fame's powerful yet intricate harmonies and canon parts, while at the same time it allows the group to be extremely versatile, seeing as Toyonaga is, on his own, an already impressive, versatile singer. Lil Happy has a softer, more delicate sound due to Ryota Osaka's technique and singing tone. He can sound raspy, but overall his performances always have a gentleness in them that in a way end up setting the tone for Lil Happy's performances. Now, Osaka is not the most technical singer, which is something that caught me by surprise when Lil Happy announced that the soloist was him and not Kimura or Kakihara, that are vastly more experienced and technical than him. Still, Osaka has proved that he has the chops to lead the way and make sure the group harmonies sound amazing and the group sounds as one. Vedlip brings 2 all-rounders, highly skilled and extremely versatile singers in Yuma Uchida and Natsuki Hanae. These double threats that can be actually a triple threat if you add Kensho Ono in here, is unique in the aoppella franchise and will enable Vedlip to tap into various music genres and have the power and unreal control that Uchida always brings to his performances and the vast vocal range that Hanae has. At the time of writing this feature, Aoppella 5, album that features Vedlip's debut song, has yet to be released, so I do not know how they sound like, so I'm just having an educated guess on Vedlip's potential as a group taking into account their soloists, which in this case are the top and lead parts. The lineups for each group. It's a paradise for fans of good voices. And to wrap up this section, let's talk about the lineups for each group. With a brighter, preppier vibe to them, Lil Happy is the franchise's flagship group. The 5-piece lineup primarily consists of tenors and one bass or baritone, creating a unique dynamic. Their performances have a crystal clear tonality that may appeal to those fans of higher-toned singers. Ryota Osaka is responsible for performing the top parts, which means that Osaka is at the heart of Lil Happy. He's between a low tenor and a high baritone range as a singer, something that confers him with the versatility to tackle challenging parts. Ryohei Kimura is no stranger to 2D music projects. He's got quite a lot of experience performing a wide variety of music genres. His husky, mid-toned voice is incredibly robust. Kimura's vocals lay in the tenor range, although he can be a faux baritone should it be required. Among his various skills, you may need to be aware of his falsetto, and his higher range is nothing to kid around. He is in charge of the second part, which is reserved for a tenor. Ken arrives as yet another sweet, albeit a bit raspy, high baritone and low tenor. His skill set is well rounded, with him being able to add falsetto and vibrato to his performances. Ad-libs are no issue as well. He is in charge of the third part, which is reserved to the high baritone or low tenor. Tetsuya Kakihara is a regular feature in music projects for how reliable he is as a singer. He's a tenor with a solid low range. He can comfortably pass off as a baritone, counting with crystal clear high notes, honeyed lower ones, and a unique breathing style of singing to top it all off. He is in charge of the fourth part, which is reserved to the baritone. And Tomoaki Maino is known by many as a vocal chameleon, able to shift between bass and tenor vocal ranges within the same performance, while he is a natural baritone singer. His versatility, wide vocal range, and technicality make him the core of Lil Happy, being in charge of the bass for the group. Now, Fame is a well-balanced and versatile group. They have a classic a cappella lineup core. They have a top, a tenor, baritone, bass, and percussion. And to add a bit more depth, added a lead to complement the performer in charge of the top parts. Toshiki Toyonaga is well known as a vocal powerhouse with an otherworldly control over his voice tone, a wide vocal range, plenty of experience as a singer-songwriter and music producer. The top part is performed by the soloist in an a cappella group, and, especially taking into account Toyonaga's vast experience and proven record as a versatile and powerful singer, it is no wonder he is in charge of such an important role within the group. Wataru Urata is a name that has been making waves in the Seiyuu industry in the past couple of months. He's a tenor with quite the powerful high range and is in charge of the second part, which is reserved to the tenor range singer in Fame. Yuki Ono is another top choice for this lineup. He is owner of a versatile skill set as well as a sweet, warm singing tone. Yuki Ono has been one of the most sought-after voice actors when it comes to 2D or multimedia projects. He shares lead vocal duties with Toshiki Toyonaga as a lead vocalist, and rightfully so. He is also in charge of the third part, sitting between baritone and tenor range for Fame's songs. Takuya Sato is a terrific singer. Powerful baritone with a sweet delivery, but can, as easy as 1, 2, 3, switch to a charming and at times alluring tone, making your jaw drop. is a versatile baritone with a lot of emotional range, ready to add those sweet deep notes and melodies to any song he performs. He's in charge of the fourth part, which is reserved to baritones. The bass voice is rare and strangely underappreciated in the Seiyuu industry. Daiki Hamano is an absolute powerhouse on that end, going for massive low notes with a lot of depth, while still carrying a whole lot of emotion. He is in charge of the bass parts that include low notes as well as mimicking a contrabass. And Shugo Nakamura is in charge of percussion. His voice tone is really sweet, yet with a slight twang to it that puts him between tenor and baritone range. He showcases a well-developed beatboxing technique with good breathing and flawless work with his lips and tongue, producing the groovy percussion that you find in famous performances. And Vedlip brings a robust sound with a lot of potential for versatility to no end. Yumuchida is in charge of the lead, which is reserved to the tenor or lead baritone, and he is an extremely skilled singer best known for his control, versatility, wide vocal range, and vast technique. Any music genre you make him perform, he will do so flawlessly. He shares lead duties with Natsuki Hanae and Kensho Ono. Natsuki Hanae is in charge of the top part, which is reserved to the highest tenor within the group. Hanae has an unreal vocal range that can go from high bass to high tenor range into female vocal range. Consistency, good active listening skills, and a solid singing technique make him an exciting singer to listen to. Kensho Ono has heaps of experience as a singer. He is used to the spotlight as the leading man in 2D music projects, but for Vedlip he ends up sharing that spotlight with Uchida and Hanae. Ono has a wide vocal range and is practically a chameleon as a singer, not only being able to perform in completely polarizing vocal ranges, but also adds to his performances the sense of the singer being more or less experienced. Expect a lot of nuance and little details in his performances as the second lead, which is reserved to the tenor. Taku Yashiro arrived a bit out of nowhere into this group, being quite possibly the dark horse in Vedlip. Yashiro is a solid singer, however, one that has a lot of quirks that sometimes end up dragging his performances down. Still, he has learned from the very best in the various 2D groups he is a part of and improved a whole lot in recent years as a singer. In a way, I can see Yashiro making a swan transformation like Ryohei Kimura made, which turned him from one of the weakest singers out there to one of the most consistent and technical there is. Yashiro is in charge of the fourth part reserved to baritones or low tenors. Takuya Masumoto has a deep, warm bass voice that has been making waves in other 2D music projects. For Vedlip, he is in charge of the bass part. And lastly comes percussion by Shunsuke Takeuchi. He is one of the most technical and exciting young talents in the Seiyuu industry. He has shown countless times for 2D music projects that he is a versatile singer with an astounding bass vocal range, but also with a unique vocal range that takes him to low tenor if he wants to. Technical, groovy, and with a fantastic sense of rhythm and active listening, he is the perfect person to have in charge of percussion for Vedlip. As you can see, Lil Happy, Fame, and Vedlip have ridiculously technical lineups. Their singers have absolute control over their vocals, they are masters of all the basics of music theory, they have their top-tier active listening skills, a fantastic sense of rhythm and pitch, and have heaps of experience. These are some of the best singers among male Seiyuu, and they are all here showing how beautiful voices can be and how awesome acapella music is. I hope that these and the previous episode end up sparking an interest in you for a cappella music and the beauty of the voices, as well as how fascinating voice acting and singing are as forms of art. Now tell me, do you like the music in aoppella? And which Seiyuu would you love to have joining this project if a fourth group is introduced to it? Let me know in the comments on YouTube, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly mail Seiyuu and music-related content. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Thank you for listening, and see you guys around.